Hello, it is Tuesday, November 29th, 2022. I'm Chris Remote. Welcome back to the New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Tuesday puzzle, so it shouldn't be too difficult, and I know I've been saying this a lot recently, so I'm sorry, it's just how it's worked out. But I don't have very much time today. In fact, I have a particularly restricted schedule this morning, so I do hope this is a relatively approachable puzzle, because that's what I need. And this extremely accelerated edition of the Daily Solve has been brought to us by Josh Lucas, Bradley Pirtle, and, as always, the inestimable Hood Monster, the invaluable Timothy Mark, and the indomitable Showmaster. So thank you so much to the 5 of them, benefactors of the Daily Solve Patreon campaign, for their generous support in sustaining this channel. And if you'd like to join their ranks and receive the Daily Solve Let's Check the Crosses mug, you can find that at patreon.com/dailysolve. There's a link in the description field underneath the video. And at that same link, you can become a patron at any level and get access to all of the bonus videos that have gone up on the channel to date, as well as the new ones that go up each week. So do enjoy that if you're a patron, and thank you if you are. I do very much appreciate your contributions. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel and join the Daily Solve Discord chat server in another link in the description field underneath the video. And with that, let's get on to the Tuesday puzzle. This was constructed by David Rockow. I believe this is David Rockow's debut construction for the New York Times. So 2 of those in a row, I think. Yesterday's was also a debut. And it was edited, as always, by Will Shorts. So let's start solving. Flick your blank, long time slogan. Not sure offhand. What about the down? Tweeters. Oh. Birds, maybe? Or speakers or something? Mother in Mexico could be madre. So, right, so what's going on with the yellow? It's interesting. The yellow highlighted answers don't sort of match up. So here we see madre and 51 down. Here we see 1 down, 44 across, and 45 down. That's interesting. What about the crosses on this one? Swabs. Mops is in the deck of a ship. Wide-eyed wonderment could be awe. And a molecule whose structure was discovered by Rosalind Franklin must be DNA. To consider something to be true is to regard it to be true, but let's look at the cross there. Dominated in sports lingo, owned, right? This team owned their opponents. And a garden west of Nod, the Garden of Eden, right? Because Nod is somewhere sort of not, it's sort of in the same, I don't know, region. What would you say in that, in the biblical story in Genesis? Okay, so International Service Organization with a dove in its logo. Peace. Maybe this isn't regard. Peace something. Consider. Recall or... reckon. I reckon. I consider that to be true. I reckon that is the case. Okay. I think that's it. City in ancient Crete with a renowned labyrinth. Oh, Knossos, or... I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Knossos with an O or an E and O. That looks much more correct. Let's look at that cross. Chow for a chow, perhaps. Alpo is... So a chow is a breed of dog, and chow is food. So dog food, presumably this means. And Alpo is a brand of dog food. So I think that's what that is. Fella could be a chap, maybe. A fella, a chap. Mountain route, a pass. Cut them off at the pass. You always used to hear people say in films. 1970 hit for the Kinks. Lola is a song by the Kinks. So it must have released in 1970. 9th inning relievers, often. Closers, people to close out the game, and the 9th inning being generally the last inning of a baseball game. Desert Wanderers mount in a 1972 hit by America. Well, it looks like horse something. Oh, the Peace Corps. The Peace Corps is our answer to 18 across. The International Service Organization with a dove in its logo. And its Andean variety has the largest wingspan among all raptors. Okay, right. So this will be a bird. And what is it? A condor, maybe? Condor, yeah, I know the condor is a huge bird, so that would make sense. Formerly né, and that's from the French for born. So, in other words, the name with which you were born, for your former name. Hit BBC series since 1963 informally. Doctor Who. I guess the informally bit is that doctor isn't spelled out. Okay, what about this roll call? Here, I'm here, present, you might say. And an African antelope is an... Oh, what is this? I'm not sure if this is going to be one of those things I know or that I don't know, but let's look at this cross. To oversee as a case, you could try a case, a legal case. Oh, oryx, that's something. That is an antelope. I do know that. I don't know that I would have been able to pull that out of my head without any crosses. I mean, I obviously wasn't initially, but I might not have been able to, even with more time, but the Y made it a little more straightforward. More prone to prying. If you're more prone to prying, you're a nosier person. Pry into people's business. Horse. Oh, horse with no name. Right. Yeah, I can think of the lyric now in my head. Something in the desert on a horse with no name. Yeah. Right. That is familiar. Okay, blank mix. Chex Mix is a sort of party snack that incorporates a breakfast cereal. And funnel-shaped is conic, a conic shape, like a cone. Kind of switch, an on-off switch. An important exam would be a final exam. And gathering, oh, here we go. Here's part of what's comprising our theme. Gathering of one down, like that found in the center of this puzzle. Gathering of tweeters. Oh, birds, maybe? We had a bird somewhere. We had a condor. Was a condor highlighted at any point? I guess not. No. Okay, so sorry. What did it say? Like that found in the center of this puzzle. Oh, right. Element of plumage and a feature shared by every answer crossing this one. Right, one of which is condor. Okay, so a feather, perhaps. Oh, birds of a feather? Gathering of one down, a flock of birds. So why is madre highlighted? What does that mean? Mother and... What's going on there? With 4 across, mountain range in 44 across. Oh, the Sierra Madre. So why was that? Why does bird highlight madre? This almost feels like a bug. This feels unintentional to me, but I'm not sure. Attached as a patch, sewed on a patch onto an article of clothing. Goose that might rest on volcanic ash in Nene, because Hawaii might have volcanic ash around, and that's a bird found in Hawaii. Iconic metaphor for keen-eyed watchfulness. In fact, was it Mauna Loa began erupting yesterday for the first time in 30-something years, I think. Okay, iconic metaphor for keen-eyed watchfulness. A hawk, yes. And that is crossing, right, of course, these are all going to be birds. Condor, nene, hawk, there we go. American raptor that's the size of a mourning dove. Oh, I'm not sure offhand. Ratite featured on Uruguayan currency. What bird? I assume it'll be a bird. Small brown passerine that holds its tail upright. Well, a wren is a small brown bird. Does that work here? Low blank, blurry maybe, low resolution. So what is this American raptor? Oh, a kestrel? That's a bird that would fit in here. Yeah, there we go. So what about this cross? A sort, right, a sort, a kind, a type, ilk, and managed. A staff, for instance, ran that staff. There we go. Bygone MGM rival. RKO was a radio and film studio that I suppose was a rival of MGM. Okay. Oh, Rhea. That's a bird. Words from a pourer, yes, say when. If you're pouring someone, I don't know, wine or something, you could say when, and they'll tell you when to stop. Gangnam Style musician is the South Korean artist Psy. Who's it's good I got that Y, because every time I have to put Psy into a crossword, I forget if his name is spelled with an I or a Y, but it's a Y. Okay, to exercise in a pool is to do laps. That's come up recently. In that same way, with do laps as a verb. Walks and runs for two, sorry. Steps, walks and runs, steps. I'm not sure. Maybe a baseball thing? I'm not sure what that is. Turkey. Unruffled. And quaint farewells. Tatas, maybe? Hoot. Oh, that was a total hoot. That was a total riot. Promising words. I do promise. Okay. A turkey is an idiot. There we go. That is idiomatically true. And unruffled. Cool as a cucumber? Yeah, there we go. So flick your Bic. Is that... Bic makes, I think, pens and lighters and razors? Which of those is it? The lighter, maybe? That would be a thing you could maybe sort of flick. Anyway, let's keep going. Bleats, baas of sheep. And qualifying words. Buts, maybe? You could qualify a statement by saying, oh, but, and then add your qualification. Mixed Martial Arts Organization, UFC, I think. What is that? United Fighting Championship or something like that? Sorry if that's wrong. Something vaguely like that. Style featuring natural curl could be an afro, so a hairstyle. And Dewey defeats Truman, the infamous Chicago Tribune headline of 1948, after which, well, as it turned out, Truman had very much defeated Dewey. So there's the photograph of President-elect Truman, I suppose, holding up the newspaper. Its peregrine variety is the world's fastest avian. Well, peregrine falcon is the peregrine. that's the bird of which I know has a peregrine variety. So bird I know has a peregrine variety. So I don't know what the other ones would be, but a falcon is one of them. And the world's fastest avian. That's really interesting. LA's region is SoCal, Southern California. Oh, right. So I totally forgot about this Sierra Madre little compound clue, but the Sierra Madre mountain range in Southern California. As seen in the excellent film, The Treasure of the Sierra Madre, which I have seen. Artificial is man-made. Chapel Hill School is, I suppose, University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. That sounds right. Lavatory fixture is a commode, a toilet. Edge is something. Cookie with a cream filling, an Oreo. Surely this clue has been used before. Oreo, the official cookie of the New York Times crossword. Traditional habitats for pigeons are urban areas, certainly the case. Finch feeder filler is seed, bird seed, I would think. So we have some additional avian themes actually going on here. Well, not additional themes, but additional thematic material even beyond the central theme in which the birds cross the feather here. Skin opening is a pore. Your skin is full of pores. And, oh, the edge is the cusp. I'm on the edge. I'm on the cusp. Small amounts are dabs, I would think. And a very long time is an eon. Quarterback's throw is an attempt, ATT, not an attack, as I once incorrectly inferred a week or so ago, but an attempt. Chicken stock, e.g., is a broth. And a noted seasonal worker would be Santa Claus. Works only at Christmas time. Worker Protection Agency is OSHA, the Occupational Safety and Health Agency or something like that in the U.S. And a low-scoring soccer result could be, I was going to say 1-0, but maybe I have something wrong. I do have something wrong. Paul of There Will Be Blood is Paul Dano from the great film There Will Be Blood. He was also good in The Fabelmans, Steven Spielberg's new film, which I also have seen. Sorry, the only reason I'm pointing that out, it just seems baffling, I'm sure, because someone just mentioned I'd never seen any of the films mentioned in the crossword, but okay, so funnel-shaped is what? Coned. Oh, okay. Coned shape. So this is 1-0 indeed. And to put on an article of clothing is to don it. So there we go. That was the Tuesday puzzle. I think a fairly gentle Tuesday puzzle about what you'd expect for a Tuesday with a simple but nicely filled out theme. So we had our flock of birds nicely framed in the corners of the grid. I think this Madre is incorrectly highlighted by birds. I don't see what the relevance could possibly be. In any case, And then we had our feather in the center of the grid crossing our falcon, wren, rhea, kestrel, hawk, nene, and condor. And then on top of that, I think we had some bird-related things elsewhere, maybe at least one or two. Well, we had, I guess, a reference to chicken stock here, the seed of a finch feeder. I don't know, maybe there were one or two other things. But in any case, there we go. Oh, no, never mind. The oryx is not a bird. It's just an animal. But anyway, there we have it. A simple but well-explored theme from a debut constructor, David Rockow. What is going on at the moment? Anyway, there we go. That's it for the puzzle today. I do unfortunately have to skip the clues from yesterday's puzzle. Apologies to everyone for misstating the formula of I think I said diameter of a circle, which is of course twice the radius, as people correctly inferred. I was trying to think of the circumference. Anyway, I'm just mentioning that because so many people pointed it out. In any case, I will be back tomorrow for the Wednesday edition of the puzzle, which should get maybe slightly more difficult, and we'll still have a theme. So come back for that and join me for the solve. And until then, I hope you have an excellent remainder of your Tuesday. Take care.